this guy is funny.
My uncle, who lives in down under, in Australia, he said that he might just send me a ticket so that I can liven up his parties there in Australia. In down under. That's slang for Australia. In fact, Google says you have to learn a lot of those slang to understand the culture, the Australian culture. Well, Google says it's very easy. You just shorten every word. Like McDonald's is Mackey's, breakfast is Brekky, mosquitoes are Mozzie's, board shirts are Boardies, sunglasses are Sunnies. They shorten every word except the names of their towns, which are 85 letters long. Tour guide might say, all right, mate. We go surfing tomorrow. We'll meet at Mackey's. Eat your brekkie, put on your boardies, wear your sunnies, and look out for the Mossies. Because we're going to the town of Boomli 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 Bungo. It's just south of Chumbachuan, Makashikuku. They shorten every word except the names of their town. To learn the Australian culture is to learn their humor. They say that Australians are the most loved people in the world. The most loved. Have you seen the movie Argo? Yeah. To have an Australian or Canadian passport is like having a get out of hostage taking free card. People love them. No, you have the scene. You remember the scene at the airport? The Iranians, they said, Commander, I think they're Americans. But they have an Australian passport and a Canadian passport. Let them go. They're terrorists. We're not animals. The Canadians are the most loved people in the world. Maybe because of their accent. It is said that in heaven, Australians have their own line. In fact, one Australian, he was in a hurry. He was in the Australian line. He said, the thing there is, the man at the gate stopped him. You stop! Wait a minute. But I have a fast pass. This is Australian line. First, you have to tell me what is the last good deed you did on earth. No worries, mate. I was there in Makashikuku Beach. I was walking and I saw these punks. He was harassing the old lady. So I took out my knife and I scared most of them. Except the leader went to me. So I kicked him on the shin. When did this happen? To die. It said that the Guinness Book of World Records says Australians, why they're the most loved people in the world. The holder for the Guinness Book of World Record, the salesman, is an Australian. He got a staggering sale of $156,782 for one person, one salesperson, one customer in one day. Of course, the sales manager, he wanted to know. He's been there for 20 years. It never happened. You have to tell me how you made that sale. Is the Pink Panther the sales manager? He was also the man from heaven. You have to tell me from the beginning what you did. Oh, no worries, mate. First, I sold him a fish hook. Then I said, your rod and reel at home might not fit this fish hook. So I sold him another rod and reel. And I told him, we're going to fishing. Oh, the Australian coast. The Australian coast have waves 2 stories high. You need a big boat. So I sold him a big boat, our biggest. And then we went to the automotive department and I sold him our biggest SUV. That's how I did it. You mean to tell me he just came in for the fish hook? No, he came for a bottle of aspirin. His wife has migraine. And I told him, Your weekend is shot. Might as well go fishing. That's the Guinness Book of World Record. Ripley's, believe it or not, says Australian. That's why they're the most loved people in the world, are the most sought after husbands in the world. How did that happen? Almost all Australians, they surf. Most of the surfers, they have their ear pierced. So they understand pain and they know how to buy jewelry. See, this sense of humor of the Australian, it didn't just come out. It started when they were in school. You know, if you read the memoirs of the great Australian, like Paul Hogan, you all know who Paul Hogan is. The Crocodile Dundee. That's Paul Hogan. If you read this memoir, the humor started when he was in grade school. Teacher was asking him a question. Said, Paul, if I give you $15 and you ask your father for $25, how much dollars do you have? $15. You don't know your math, Paul. You don't know my father, man. When he was in high school, he was scolded when he was just talking to a girl next to him. I was just talking to her. If you have a question, you have to ask me. All right. Would you like to go out with me on Friday? The humor does not end even until the last day of the graduation. The principal gathering everybody there. You know, he wanted to say, his farewell before the actual graduation. So he gathered all the graduates in that auditorium, and he was talking about the days that they spent together in that school. At the end, there wasn't a dry eye in that room. I want you to remember us. We want to remember you. You want each other to remember each other. And 25 years from today, I want you to meet in this great auditorium. And then Paul's voice was, piped in. He said, what time?